And that what in fact happened was Justin didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress in it, and used threats and coercion and bullying to do it. And to the point where this guy was in the basement at his own movie's premiere.
What I make of that is that if your wife is sexually harassed, you don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. You don't make fun of the situation. You take it very seriously. You file HR complaints. You raise the issue, and you follow a legal process. What you don't do is mock the person and turn it into a joke.
My favorite part of what I've read of this suit so far is that Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. This is a book that's probably written at a second grade reading level.
Yeah. Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megyn. And, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. And some
Ryan
of them
Reynolds?
come as a surprise. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Hollywood, where a movie based on your favorite book can go from a must-watch masterpiece to full-blown courtroom chaos faster than you can say Oscar buzz. And honey, today's main drama? Blake Lively might be facing a 5-year prison sentence. Because when a lawsuit isn't dramatic enough, why not throw in a little jail time to spice things up? So, grab your popcorn, and I mean the fancy kind, hand-popped by someone with an important title. Because this mess is even more twisted than the movie everyone seems to have forgotten they wanted to see. Let's rewind. Way back. We're talking ancient history, when fans went wild over the news that It Ends With Us, the best-selling book that tugged at every heartstring, was getting a movie. At first, it seemed like a dream come true. Justin Baldoni, known for turning stories into emotional gold, was set to direct. Blake Lively, the queen of sharp wit and depth, was cast as the lead. It felt like the stars had aligned. Fans, the media, and even the universe itself believed this was going to be something special. The cast was perfect, the director was passionate, and everything seemed destined for greatness. But, as with all things Hollywood, the moment the cameras started rolling, bam, drama. Word on the street was that Lively wanted to add her signature humor to the script, while Baldoni wasn't having it. He wanted to keep the raw, tear-jerking tone that made the book so powerful. Who needs emotional depth when you can have punchlines and designer couture, right? And don't even get me started on the wardrobe drama. We'll get there soon. For us, now, just picture this. Fans who were expecting magic left watching in shock as their beloved book adaptation turned into an all-out behind-the-scenes battleground.
We've come across evidence that shows that even her own representatives knew that she was threatening and mean and tough and wanted to get her way. This is not something that we wanted out there. It's not something that Justin wanted out there. In fact, it hurts the movie. It doesn't help the movie.
My favorite part of what I've read of this suit so far is that Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. This is a book that's probably written at a second grade reading level.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real, fam. If you're adapting a novel built on raw emotion and deep personal growth, maybe, just maybe, dial down the comedic glitter bomb. That's exactly what Baldoni was reportedly trying to say. Meanwhile, Lively's team was all about adding sassy humor and luxurious visuals. Because, well, why not make heartbreak look fabulous? Who needs deep, soul-shaking trauma when you can wrap it in high-end couture, right? By the time the first behind-the-scenes shots dropped, fans were like, hold up, wasn't this supposed to be the kind of story that makes you ugly cry, not laugh? The images looked more like a rom-com than the emotional roller coaster everyone was expecting. Naturally, the internet lost its mind, along with Lively and Baldoni, but behind closed doors, they kept it real. Word is, Baldoni told her, cut the comedy or you'll drown the book's soul in punchlines and Prada. But Lively, in true diva fashion, fired back, honey, modern audiences need a little comedic relief. Because obviously, heartbreak hits hardest when there's a snarky one-liner on standby. At first, it was just creative differences. Typical Hollywood drama, nothing out of the ordinary. But then, oh, baby, this little spat turned into a full-blown legal disaster. Lively reportedly felt she was being sidelined, while Baldoni, he came prepared. He had receipts. And now, for the real showstopper, in the most Hollywood move ever, Baldoni hit Lively with a $400 million defamation lawsuit. Yep, you read that right. $400 million, because in Tinseltown, a few million won't cut it. If you're going to start a war, you go for a number so big it sounds like a military budget. So why is he doing this? Baldoni claims Lively publicly made him look like a controlling tyrant who shut her out of big decisions. Meanwhile, he insists that behind the scenes, she was the one pushing hard for comedic rewrites, maybe even demanding them. So was she just a star being pushed aside, or was she the comedy mastermind pulling the strings all along? Well, that depends on whose side of the story you believe. Anywhere else, this would be a typical he said, she said situation. But honey, this is Hollywood. So of course, we're adding a few extra zeros to the lawsuit and making sure every gossip magazine gets a front row seat. Because if your reputation is going down in flames, you might as well make it a full-blown high-stakes drama.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megyn. And, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. And some of
Ryan
it will
Reynolds?
come as a surprise. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Just when you thought the drama couldn't get any juicier, here comes a rumor that might blow the lid off this whole saga. Word on the street is that Blake Lively may have misrepresented or even fabricated evidence. And baby, that could flip the script in a major way. Some hush-hush insiders are whispering about text messages, meeting transcripts, and maybe even some shady videos that completely contradict Lively's claims about how much comedic fluff she really supported. We won. All know that Hollywood lawsuits are usually about money, fame, and those all-important bragging rights. But throw in the possibility of prison time, and suddenly, it feels like the plot of a thriller. Could Blake Lively, the queen of sass and impeccable style, actually be facing up to 5 years behind bars for perjury, or something close to it? In Tinseltown, where NDAs, script leaks, and secret settlements are practically a hobby, some people are calling this whole Blake might go to jail talk a straight-up scare tactic. A settle up, or we might have to hand these receipts to the cops kind of move. Because, as if throwing around a prison threat wasn't enough to make someone sweat, this isn't just about losing a role or paying a fine. This is jail time, honey. And still, the rumor mill won't stop spinning. Every time you blink, another secret piece of evidence leaks faster than a Kardashian announcing a new season. You have to wonder, are these leaks just pressure tactics meant to corner Lively? Because, let's be real, nothing says I mean business. Like the threat of an orange jumpsuit. But hold up, we're not done yet. There's also the little mess about Lively's sudden 180 on styling. Early script notes and some juicy gossip suggest she was all in on bringing high fashion to It Ends With Us. Think designer gowns, killer heels, and camera angles that made every piece of couture pop. But the moment fans and critics started side-eyeing her looks for crushing the book's raw emotional vibe, Lively backpedaled fast. And that's when the drama really exploded. According to Baldoni's camp, Lively was front and center, picking out comedic beats, bold outfits, and flashy aesthetics, only to later claim she was forced into it. So, was Lively truly overwhelmed by the comedy and couture, or was she the mastermind behind it all? Hollywood is divided. Some say she just went with the flow at first, only to realize too late that things were getting out of control. Others believe that as soon as the negative press hit, she switched sides faster than you can say Louis Vuitton. Either way, one thing is clear, this whole mess is peak Hollywood. A story about deep emotional scars is now completely overshadowed by debates about comedic timing and Gucci belts. Honestly, if that isn't the definition of Hollywood madness, I don't know what is.
I'm a man, and this is a story that is told through the lens of a woman. And especially when it relates to intimacy scenes and to scenes where there is a mix of intimacy and violence, I wanted to make sure that those scenes had a female gaze. As much as I can try to see the world as a woman, I never will be able to.
And what's a Hollywood scandal without pulling in another A-lister? Enter Ryan Reynolds, the rumored comedic genius behind some of the script's punchlines, and even a possible cameo. I mean, when you're married to Deadpool himself, why wouldn't you tap into that comedic magic, especially if you're trying to keep the audience from sobbing their eyes out? But the moment fans of the novel started side-eyeing the comedic vibe, poof, those cameo rumors vanished. Suddenly, it was all about pretending Ryan Reynolds was never in the picture or that Lively wasn't on board with his comedic influence at all. Some insiders claim she pulled a Houdini move, trying to distance herself from anything funny. But come on, sis. In the age of social media receipts, those private suggestions can turn into Exhibit A, B, or C in a lawsuit faster than you can say. Public relations nightmare. Of course, none of this is officially confirmed, but let's be real. We love a juicy rumor. Maybe Reynolds was never involved. Maybe he was. But here's the real kicker. This whole cameo talk is classic Hollywood chaos. 1 minute, everyone's brainstorming ways to add a little fun to a heavy story. The next, the public hates it. And suddenly, the stars are all like, "What? Us? We had nothing to do with that." So what do? Backtrack, deny, distance themselves. Because nobody wants to be painted as the one who ruined a beloved novel with too many punchlines. Meanwhile, Baldoni is sitting there with actual receipts, and guess who's left scrambling? Yep, you guessed it. But let's get to the real drama. Talk of perjury. Defamation lawsuits are usually about bruised egos and big checks changing hands. But criminal charges? That's a whole different beast. For Lively to actually end up behind bars, there would need to be solid, undeniable proof that she lied under oath or falsified something important. But honestly, just the rumor of that is enough to send tabloids into a frenzy. Fans are sitting there, jaws dropped. Blake Lively? Prison? Is this real life? And honey, it's not completely a joke. If more evidence keeps surfacing that contradicts her statements, things could get serious. Legal experts are already chiming in, saying that in some places, perjury carries a sentence of up to 5 years. Now, is that the maximum sentence or the actual one she could face? Who knows? But that hasn't stopped the headlines from screaming 5 years at us from every corner of the internet. Some think Baldoni's team is just hyping it up for leverage. Others believe Lively may have told a few too many fibs, and now she's in the hot seat. Either way, Blake Lively might go to prison is such a scandalous headline. It's completely overshadowing the actual movie. But the real heartbreak? The fans. Who just wanted to see It Ends With Us on the big screen, without the courtroom drama or legal chaos.
What I make of that is that if your wife is sexually harassed, you don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. You don't make fun of the situation. You take it very seriously. You file HR complaints. You raise the issue, and you follow a legal process. What you don't do is mock the person and turn it into a joke.
So, where does that leave the highly anticipated adaptation the world was dying to see? Well, stuck in Hollywood limbo, naturally. Investors aren't exactly eager to throw more cash into a project now drowning in lawsuits and courtroom drama. Marketing teams can't roll out a killer promo campaign when they're too busy dodging questions about perjury and those oh-so-controversial comedic rewrites. Baldoni insists he still wants to stay true to the book's emotional depth, but at this point, people are way more hooked on the real-life soap opera than the actual movie. One day, rumors whisper about secret settlement talks, with both sides scrambling to avoid an open court battle. The next, new gossip surfaces that Lively's legal team has some serious counter-arguments ready to go. Meanwhile, social media is tracking every twist and turn. Fans torn between wanting a faithful adaptation and low-key living for the spectacle of this meltdown. But let's not forget the real victim in all this, the book itself. It Ends With Us was supposed to be a powerful story about healing and growth. But if you only followed the headlines, you'd think the biggest debate was whether Lively's punchlines or her high-fashion outfits killed the book's emotional soul. So now, the big question is, can this film even be saved, or is it doomed to be remembered as that movie? You know, the one with outrageous lawsuits, legal chaos, and potential prison time? And of course, we're left with that classic Hollywood question. How did a deeply emotional story about healing turn into a circus? Of lawsuits, multi-million-dollar defamation claims, and felony charges, only Tinseltown knows. And it's not exactly sending out invitations for explanations. Will Blake Lively actually see the inside of a courtroom? Or, gulp, a prison cell? Will Baldoni cash in on that $400 million defamation check? Or is this all just one big power play to see who blinks first? Maybe they'll settle quietly, wrap up the film, and drop it with a tagline like, "Inspired by the novel, and the most chaotic behind-the-scenes drama you've ever seen." Because in Hollywood, the real drama is often wilder than the fiction. It's supposed to be selling. And trust me, this mess, it's not fading quietly. In the coming weeks, expect leaked transcripts, cryptic Instagram posts, half-hearted apologies that somehow say absolutely nothing, Things for sure, we'll all be glued to the gossip, obsessed with a debacle no screenwriter could have dreamed up. Meanwhile, it ends with us Sids collecting dust on some studio shelf, waiting for its turn in the chaos. In the end, maybe we'll finally get the adaptation we deserve, or maybe we'll just get a cautionary tale about how Hollywood can take a beloved, heartfelt story and turn it into a comedic tragedy of epic proportions. Either way, Hollywood will keep spinning. It's drama. Because, let's be real, that's what it does best. So stay tuned. Because if you thought 5 years in prison sounded wild, just wait for the next plot twist. In Tinseltown, there's always room for another dramatic turn, and you best believe, it usually arrives in designer heels. After all, in the City of Angels, even your biggest dreams can spiral into a nightmare of lawsuits, felonies, front-page gossip, and a cast list that just keeps getting bigger and messier. And honestly, isn't that exactly why we just can't look away?